to feel my heart burned open wide till nothing else remains except the fires from which I came. Like parted souls divided for an age, awe and wonder I'd embrace, and the world's anew again. But now this picture from me fades, from still's cold hand there's no reprieve. So light the fire in me. Shine your light on me, illuminate me, make me complete. Lay me down, wash this world from me, and open the skies, burn it all away. 'Cause I've been waiting all my life, just waiting for you to shine. Shine your light on me. I dreamt the world with my eyes open. The time moved on and then new worlds begin again. And oh, my heart, in this universe so vast, no moment was made to last. So light the fire in me. Shine, shine your light on me, illuminate me, make me complete. Please shine, shine your light on me. No hesitation, make me complete. Lay me down and wash this world from me. Open the skies, please burn it all away. 'Cause I've been waiting and all my life, just waiting for you to shine and shine your light on me. shine your light on me.
I'm going to bring my volume up here to the point that I believe you guys should be able to hear me. Please give me an indication that you can, because without your feedback, I unfortunately don't know. I'm looking at myself at this, and I'm unusually orange. I guess it's the lighting in this room. We do have more earth tone lighting. The place is still an absolute mess. We just finally got moved in. Can you guys hear me? Just let me know if you can hear me. I'm always having to do this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to minimize this ugly picture of myself here. And we are going to see if I can bring up the latest alpha. And I hope you guys can hear me, by the way. I don't see anybody responding, so you might be just like seeing my lips flap. Now, let's say desktop audio. Okay. That's still up. Good. So how is everybody doing this evening? I'm just going to continue talking as if you can hear me. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope my fan over here isn't too loud. I have it right next to the computer because in Portland it started to cool down a little bit, but it's still unbearably just muggy. So just give me a moment here. I'm going to see if I can get these applying. Let's see. Let's kick that up. And yeah, there we go. Grab the back and bring that up over here and get my window over here where it's going to be out of everybody's way. There we go. And let me just check my audio, by the way. There's a feedback loops on this thing. I'm not like the most brilliant expert at streaming. Okay, that's a little bit too loud. Hold on. To see if anybody's responded about their ability to hear me or not, but nobody has. Let's see. Maybe I also need to just move. Yeah. No, again, move my dang studio window. My goodness, Eric, what is wrong with you? Because I want it over here. That's why. It's been a crazy week, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We just finished moving last night, or yesterday at 5 p.m. And it's been just a day of unpacking, unboxing, and getting everything in its proper place. Okay, Justin, thank you so very much for responding. Hey, I'm going to just hit this, and I'm going to take us into the new game here. And now, by the way, that this intro loop is Adam Shortsleeves, a local musician here in Maine, who did a cover, just a short cover loop of VNV Nation's Perpetual. And even though we don't have the license to use Perpetual, this is a loop of about 30 seconds, and it's on an alpha. We're not making money off of it. I just really wanted to use it because I think he did a really good job. Now, you'll notice also that the loading time here, we're going to get a black screen a little bit longer than we did in previous alphas. And that is because we have this new loading system that's basically makes everything a little bit more efficient on this end. And it doesn't look like that here right now because we can hear it's fading in here. Yeah, got the audio. Oh, we can hear you. Okay. Now, does anybody have any questions, by the way? Let me see. First off, let's just leave that where it is. But just for my own purposes, I'm going to bring that audio down because you've heard it so many times, and really it's sort of overpowering to me on this side. Maybe I can bring up the system audio a little bit more so you can hear it a little bit better. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. I got the system audio up so you can hear a little bit of the music. Now, this apply. This external soundtrack, by the way, is going to be due for revision because, like I maybe mentioned, pardon my belching there, we're working with one of our programmers to develop a procedural music engine for the game. So essentially, what you hear over the course of the game will depend on, your actions, your cat's moods, where you are in the game. Where I love those both geographically and there are going to be a number of determinants, working on. Let's see, what the heck is going on with this poor cat? He's not moving forward. I think he's stuck. You'll have to pardon me. Oh my goodness. Oh, by the way, I'm trying to get to a more open area so I can show you. Yeah, we seem to be having a little bit of a sector problem there. I apologize for that. But you know what? I know where we are. We're up by the immigrant housing by the old Laflamme Fish Works. Yeah, again, just give me a second here. You'll notice that the cat's movement, by the way, is a lot more fluid than it was before. Before, it's just sort of pivoted. Now we actually have the camera. I mean, if you'll just see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. This is number one. It seems like one of the pupils is off. She's a little bit cross-eyed. But note how the cat's head tracks you. When you bring it around front. Used to be it snapped back and forth, and when the cat needed to make a turn, it would just sort of like rotate in place. You see, it's not perfect yet, but now we've got it so that basically the body, it rotates actually, it bends its body, and we're going to be improving that over time. I mean, really, considering the way it was before, it was so generic and so icky, icky word to use. But yeah, this is a nice open space, you can see. And you can see, the motion of the character is a lot better than it used to be. I mean, the bends when the cat's running there. And when it makes a sharp turn, I think, let's see here. Yeah, see here? We have a little bit of a kink there, but otherwise that's just brilliant compared to where we were. Now, as far as, like, you see here, we still have a little bit of an issue on slanted terrain, but that's only because really we just need to have, animation states for all, for various angles, and unfortunately presently that's out of scope, but hopefully very soon we can add that perhaps after the beta, but we are going to get everything running. But let's see here. Right now we're over by the Fish Works. Like I said, we're just going to run downtown. By the way, no one has asked any questions or anything. How many people do we have here? We have 4 people right now. I'm just going to try and find some interactable objects here. Let's see. Oh yeah, we had to unfortunately in this alpha remove the hunt, the sneak motions, and we only because it's a state engine issue, and hopefully we're going to be able to address that in the coming couple of months, because we are coming up on that time. As opposed to the other alphas, also, could I just say, we have before the terrain would sort of like peel into existence before the fog set in, and that always just didn't make things look. It made things look very unrealistic, and when the world doesn't peel into existence as you walk forward. But we got the tone mapping and the fog to adjust for that now, and the roads are still a work in progress. I thought I would be able to get time to do the nice, properly rutted roads, but unfortunately, some things some things pan out, some things don't. Now, Arjuna, who's our texture artist, told me to really emphasize our fences. Let's see here. And, there's a heck of a lot going on in the game, the game development, aside from just the visuals here that you're going to see here and all. Because, there's a lot of story writing and such. Oops, looks like we have a floating house there. Going to have to do a little bit of terrain adjustment. Let's see here. Cyrus P. Sweeney. That name is going to change eventually, I think. Yeah, you can see here. You got the dock over there. We still have, a little bit of problem with the ocean when it comes to the fog. You can see how it sort of just cuts off sort of roughly there. But otherwise, it's such an improvement. The tone mapping, more fences, more fence work. Nice shiny white fences there. And by the way, these here now have a procedural sort of like a moss growth and stone texture on them. Here you see there's a little bit of an issue with this stuff. I'm running this Absolute Ultra. What I'm going to do is I should maybe run this as very good so we have a little bit of a smoother. Because right now, can I say, you're seeing a little bit of a jerky motion here. Because we are in the middle of downtown, which is the busiest part of the island as far as like everything. And can I just say, I get better results when I run this thing full screen. Maybe I should go ahead and do that. You got that. I'm going to run this full screen at like maybe not ultra, so we get a little bit of a better a demonstration of how the game runs. Okay, so you just have to bear with me so we go through this again. I was going to change that Fallout sound. Just give me a moment here. Alrighty. Oh, cat is so cute. Thank you. Again, let's see. We're not going to do this windowed this time. We're going to do this at, I think, 1920, 1080. Yeah, that's a good one. And we're going to do it, like I said, at high. Actually, very high. It's sort of strange and counterintuitive to think, you get better response. Okay. And while this is going on, it smells like somebody killed a skunk outside. Can I just say, there's an odor going around this place. I mean, we took out all of our garbage and such, so I don't know. There's just something really rank going on. Just give me a second. There we go. Kick that out. And while this is loading, by the way, I'm going to bring up our chat window so I can see what you guys are saying. There are a heck of a lot of aspects of the game that have changed. And the world's coming on early alpha, so the protection of the cast be later. Okay, Justin, I believe in the last alpha we have, in fact, the one we're showing off right now, we have a fur shader attached. It is maybe not 100% where it needs to be. Like I said, for example, one of the pupils seems to be a little bit off on Liz. Will the game be available on Steam? That's TBD. Steam used to be troublesome because of some of their restrictions for game for game. Let me just minimize this right now, by the way, because I know you can see this, and we're getting a slope. Yeah. But to answer your question, just let me get to a place here. And by the way, I apologize for that rather Stockhausen-esque soundtrack right there, because that I made the mistake of cats spawning in a place where there is a slight overlap in two music areas, so it's like two very mournful minor songs in minor chords come on and sort of overlap each other, and it's this cascade of mourning. But yeah. Oh, by the way, this is Lizzie. But let me just show you. Oh my goodness! You know what? You're absolutely correct. This may not be a good example. I'm going to go over to the other cat because understand that Liz is a Russian blue cat, and cats, a dilutory Russian blue mix. And if you've ever met a Russian blue cat, they have incredibly thick fur, and we try to basically make it look like that. We're going to bring in some a specular effects that are going to more accentuate the fur. So to answer your question, yes, there is fur there, but it's not perfect yet. So let's just go and see. Maybe there's something. I mean, Tyler is not another. I mean, actually, this is another cat. It's not Tyler. For some reason, it's named that. But let's see here. You see, he's got fur, but again, you see a little bit of the fur texture at the very end, in the very edges there, but you have to go really tightly in to see it. We do have objects that you can interact with. Let me see. F. Unfortunately, this gigantic blueberry is sort of stuck. Let's see. And it sounds like the geese are on their way. They're always on their way. Damn geese. We have a little bit of a problem there. You know, I'm going to leave that little berry alone. These berries are crazy. I'm just going to kick that pear. Let's see. This is up by Ellison Farms. You can see. I mean, if you're not familiar with the game world, I could give you a quick tour. Oh yeah, I didn't answer your question about Steam. Steam. Yes. We would like it to be on Steam. That is again TBD. Sorry about that. Because. Am I even showing up on this screen? I'm just seeing here. Oh goodness, you're still seeing my window on top of there. My goodness, I am a blessed idiot. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry for the last couple of minutes, guys. I'm going to get rid of this dang window here. Here's my problem, guys. This evening, I can't get both of my monitors hooked up. I usually have, you know, my tools, which is my chat window over here, and everything up on my other monitor while I have it streaming via this. So this is just not turning out as well as it could. So let me just minimize this, because really we don't need to see that at all. Thank you for your patience. Let me see. I'm just seeing the window there. I just want to make sure that I do not have. You can't see that window, right? Oh no, it's still up there, right? No. Great, fantastic. But here's the problem. I still need to rescale the freaking window because it's not showing everything. This is really annoying, guys. What I'm going to do is just see here, because what YouTube is doing, by the way, is it's broadcasting part of the picture, and this is just annoying. It's only broadcasting the right side of the picture. I'm just going to go over to my control window and see again. I'm hoping this is not going to be screwed up. It looks like, yeah, it's okay, all right. I need to just expand that to the right so I can see. Yes, we are good, guys. Now, okay, relax. Okay, cool. Thank you for your patience. Now, about Steam. We are not in a position to talk about where this game will and will not be released. Other than I can say right now, I am not a fan of the Epic Store, Epic Games. I do not like how they do business. I'll tell you straight up. I mean, at a certain time, when I maybe would have relied upon, you know, Project Greenlight funds to keep this project going, there was a time where, yes, I might have, you know, gone for that and seen if I could get pre-orders and all of that. But, you know, here's another thing I feel about Steam is just so many people have abused their system. I mean, and such. I don't know. You know, I'm ethically challenged when it comes to Steam in certain ways. You know, I'm never going to find a perfect retailer. I've come to accept that because, you know, politically, if you know me and my Antifa t-shirt here, you know, politically I fit in with a tiny percent of, you know, of the population. And so, you know, I'm entering, I mean, I'm only telling you what just about every other veteran in the industry will tell you is, oh, by the way, we're in the middle of the, this is called the Cathedral Woods, which is sort of like the central highlands of the island. Somewhere around here is the old World War II tower, and we're constantly hearing the geese. I think there may be something wrong with the sound engine in that we're constantly hearing the geese yelping in the background. I'm going to see if I can find the old World War II tower. This is also the domain of the deer, but I'm unsure whether they are in this alpha. It seems we're heading downhill, so... And eventually, by the way, we're going to have the ball, so that, say, we are aware that, for example, when you go into situations like this, there's a lot of foliage around the camera that's obscuring your view. That's usually taken care of by, a little mechanism that's something that's relatively easy to introduce, but we've never just gotten around to it. The same way that we never got around to, putting in the reactive foliage, because eventually I would like it so that, every animal in the game world, disturbs the foliage so that from, say, for example, you're a cat sneaking through the woods, you can see from a good deal ways off, oh, look, we're by the church. Great. Now I got a better idea of where we are. Yeah, this is the graveyard. This is a changed graveyard. The old one, was a sort of a square one until I'm sort of embarrassed, but it's pretty much common knowledge that, let me just see here, making sure that this game is based on, to a great part, one of the islands on Castle Bay called Peaks Island. And in fact, that was our nickname for Peaks Island, Peace Island, for the longest time. And, I'd been visiting there for years and years until I did go to the oldest and most prominent, actually not the oldest, but the largest and centrally located cemetery on the island, and realized that it was in circular construction. It had its own, like, streets and curbs. It was like almost its own little miniature necropolis. And I apparently, in time for the last alpha, I did not add the hedge wall around it, because I'm sure that the people who live, in fact, I know the person who lives in that little bungalow over there isn't going to really enjoy looking out here. I mean, I really can't tell you, because that's a partial spoiler. And also, you can see there's a little bit too much grass along the paths. Ideally, in the end, these are going to be streets like they are in the real Peaks Island Cemetery. And you can see there are these gigantic rocks that I spawned that I didn't think about too much before letting it go. And now here's one thing I'll tell you. There are going to be these little locations, like, see there? In the back of that statue, there are going to be some cats, not all cats, that can hide in those, if they need to. But it's up to you to find those. Now, one of the things is, let's see, we made the entrance to the church one of the wackiest places, but let's see where we could give this a try. Because this has, I believe, let's go down to the basement, guys. You can see there's a lot of landscaping that remains to be done. Notice how harsh that is, and there needs to be, a railing along this back porch. It's just that the church was sort of like a backwoods building for quite a few months during the development. So we're going to enter the building here. And by the way, if you're not aware with the development of this game, in my ideal world, and I think it's completely within scope, every building on this island is going to be enterable and important to the story. Every one, and including ones, a certain large construction that you will not see until, about midway through the game, 2/3. Now, it seems this thing is still loading, and I could still hear the geese screeching in the background, but, we seem to be having a little bit of a loading issue. Let's just give it a minute. If we have an issue there, then we have an issue, and we just go back to the outside, and it's no big thing. But and by the way, this gives you an excellent opportunity to go over to your the window and see if anybody has any questions, any comments. Oh yeah, Justin. Yeah, that is. It seems to be loading a little bit more because you see now we have the nice reverb on the cat now that it's inside the church. Before it was sort of flat. Now we have a echo. And if we didn't hear those screeching geese in the background, you could hear a little bit more of Richard DaCosta. He did some soundtrack work for us. In fact, he's developing the new soundtrack for us. It looks like we may just be unfortunately stuck here, but I will tell you a little bit about this church. It's not completely done just like the exteriors, but if you did not know, the Maine state constitution, I'm just going to Alt F4, was signed in a Unitarian church, and it still exists in downtown Portland, and it's sort of like a sign of Maine's inclusive history that our Maine Constitution was signed in a very progressive church house here in Portland. But let's see what we can do here. What we're going to do is we're just going to restart that alpha here. Oh yeah, and I wanted to talk to you about the radio broadcast a little bit more. That is one thing that we wanted to. Eventually, you will be able to push the radios around and haul them if you need to. But jeez. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what would be the best thing for our purposes here. I'm just going to go with 1720 by 2 because that's a nice wide screen. No, actually, yeah. Sorry. In Grand Theft Auto, and I'm going to have to bring in my control. Actually, no, I know my sound levels are good. In Grand Theft Auto, they had, I forget because I gave up on playing GTA 5, and yes, I know I'm not, that's a game that we cannot mention, in our develop. We're just going to make it options, master. There we go. And hey, this is the only place in Hollywood where you don't hear the geese. So, anyway, new game. Yeah, and certain games that have radio broadcasts, they have it. I mean, unless you're really into driving, I guess you could listen to an entire cycle of one of those radio broadcasts they have in Gamma Theta Alpha, but. Generally, you would only hear about 5 or 10 minutes at most of those radio broadcasts. So in this game, I thought, the best way to replicate that thing is to have it so that you can only hear the radio when you are near a radio. And that means, during the course of the game, there may be times when you don't have time to listen to the radio because you got to head off to a quest or such. But, I would like to think that maybe, you'd want to sit and watch the sunset and listen to the radio broadcast once or for a while and pull in, get a feel of, what's going on. Because really in the beginning, I was like, oh yeah, I'd like to have a half-hour radio broadcast. Right now, I realize that's no problem at all. I mean, we could do. In fact, I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. Background audio, music. Bring down the ambient. Should actually bring down the music a little bit more. Yeah, apply. And I just want to check my audio levels because I'm paranoid. Make sure it's not drawing me out. Okay, cool. Minimize that again. Oh, now, let's see. Now OBS is like, I can display the whole screen. Silly OBS. What I'm going to do is, again, shrink this so you can see the entire widescreen. Pardon this. Total. Again, I'm not used to streaming, and quite frankly, I think it's been over a month since I live streamed, and moving has been just insanity. What the heck's going on here? Oh, that's weird. It looks like while you have it paused, insects are still moving and drawing across the back. You see, those are fireflies. That's just an artifact, visual artifact. Let's see, we went Tyler. Sue is up by Greenwood Gardens. But now I'm thinking eventually, when we get the entire radio broadcast in, I could imagine putting hours of content. Ideally now, I'd like to be a full 90 minutes worth of radio material. And it would be to your benefit to sit, because number one, there are going to be times when the cats that you do have are going to all want to be resting, or maybe it's raining outside. Why not sit and listen to the radio for a while and learn some Easter eggs, hints about quests that or things that you may encounter and such. It was just a sort of a way of getting people to sit and listen to the radio, But, by the way, here you can see, for you Zelda fans, and I confess, never played Zelda in my life, understand its significance in the history of gaming, and, it was awesome, the stuff that it brought in. It's just that, well, I'd have to look at my years, but I think Ultima did many of the same things years before, but I'm not going to anger, the mass. Let's just say they're both great games, Zelda and Ultima. But this is a Triforce, of course. And here we have these. This is just an example. See, you can grab one end of now one object and attach it or drop it to other objects. And that will allow larger cats to, pull objects and so on and so forth. Or, for example, we envisage there are going to be in some of the older buildings, like the old hotel, Greenwood Mansion, let's just drop that. Like up here, this used to be an old hotel back in the day, and it looks like we need to add a little bit of wear and tear to it. It looks too pristine, but it's going to have a dumbwaiter system. And you're going to have to attach ropes and so on and so forth. And it looks like I've been really wanting to put a wall up over here, but someday soon. Right now we're sort of like in the middle of a second baking pass, and that's going to really speed up again performance, loading times, etc., etc. Let me just see here. By the way, this is a cat named Susie, and it looks... Oh, no, she's got her pupils, but her pupils are very large. She may have been dining on some mushrooms or something like that. Oh, but it looks like she has a little bit of snappy head going on there. Gonna have to... But otherwise... yeah, this is, if you did not know, Greenwood Gardens. It is now a commercial farm. Sunflowers are not its, oh, by the way, always cough into your elbow, not your hand, like an idiot like me. It used to be an amusement park back about 110 years ago, but during World War II, when they were excavating Battery Hamlin, there were a heck of a lot of explosions, and no one really wanted to go to this, tiny little amusement park up here. So they just shut it down, and they decided, hey, we could just turn it into a farm, because before that, oh my goodness, the story of this game, it's big. Before that, the biggest farmer was Ellison Farms, and because their farms were being blasted away by the federal government under eminent domain, they could just fill that gap of agricultural production on the island, and so on and so forth. All of this backstory is in our just wiki that we are still building at this point. We only started about 2 weeks ago, and Laura and I have been so busy moving and cleaning our old apartment and getting this place in order. We just really haven't had a chance. And by the way, you could see, yes, this game world is kind of big, and I still don't like the idea of fast travel. I just really don't. I believe there is a way that we can add a mechanic that can make long travels a little bit more interesting. I mean, especially, can I just... Well, no, I'm not going to say what kind of animals that you'll encounter at this point in the game. But trust me, they'll keep this part of the island very interesting for you. Whichever path you take, we're still in the process of writing, but as we've said, it's up to you to decide whether the humans are worth bringing back or not. And really, if you're pursuing that route that's all like antisocial and so on and so forth, you're going to that's going to lead you down one path, and the other one, there's going to be another path open to you, and of course, in either case, there's going to be a few extra animals here that are going to be making your life interesting. And as you can see, they don't like cats up in Greenwood Gardens. I'm thinking, because of just some, you can see we have a little bit of floaty going on the fences there. But maybe, oh, yes, we can, because of the collider issue. That's no big thing. Let's see. I should alt tab and see if we have any questions yet. By the way, the conversation engine is going to be integrated as soon as we're done with the second baking pass, and understand there's just so much contingent upon the addition of the conversation engine, because that is going to bring in such items as the save game feature, the pseudo inventory. I don't believe there's going to be much of an inventory in this game. If a cat could pick it up with its mouth or bat it across the island, yes. But otherwise, there was a certain other cat game that came out recently, and they came around, got over the problem of inventory by giving that little kitty cat a backpack, which is, I think, a completely legitimate. Oh, by the way, check this out. This is what Arjuna was saying. You say, look at the fences. These fences used to look like cartoons. They used to look like, Barney Rubble. But seriously, that's some nice weathered wood there. Oh, goodness. But down here is another thing. Some people out on the islands, they have their houses right, by the roads. Literally, you could, if you're driving a golf cart around some parts of Peaks Island, you could just shove your arm out of the window and you'd slap the side of some houses. But some people, they really like they park their golf carts and then they hike in for like about a few hundred yards. But this is an example of that. But this is more of just a happy accident, but I won't go into, because there's another big storyline that's associated with this bus, and it doesn't appear like this guy's on. I could smack the radio, but it doesn't seem to be playing. Maybe the sound object wasn't attached to that prefab. I apologize, but... Oh, that sound there, by the way, is... I heard it over here. Let's see if we can find... there's this shimmering sound you'll hear somewhere. That is because there is an invasive... I heard it again. This invasive life form, this fungus, that is self-propagating itself across the island, and... let's just say that's one of the quests in the first act of the game, as to address that issue. You can see this would be a point where having like reactive grass would be really cool, where, if the cat hit the grass, it would divide, and trust me, eventually. But let's see, yeah. This is Keenan Avenue, by the way. Oh, no! Oh my gosh, I completely got lost. That's a testament how big this is. I think this is a vacation rental over here. I would have to check the wiki, but I believe that is a vacation rental. You might be out here and it'll start to rain all of a sudden. You may want to use that porch. Cats don't... Oh, I heard the critter. I'm just trying to find it. Right now it looks like a jellyfish. And it sounds like, just this shivering. This should have water in it. By the way, we lost a little bit of water in this alpha. Aside from this, we're down by Battery Hamlin. I could show you. We lost our wetlands. A majority of the we lost the river in the wetlands, and we lost the swamps. But it was one of those things where it was like so close to release time that I was just so, and hey, see, we still have a little bit of a loading that I was just willing to let just slide for this alpha because, well, hey, the beta's going to be out by the end of the year, so now this is another case where I'm like, am I where I think I am? I believe I am, because up that way is downwards. I never went over and saw if there are any questions. Pardon me. Sorry. It seems we have, let's see, how many viewers here? Just okay, we have 10 concurrent viewers at this time. Hey, eight. Hey, everybody. I'm going to see if you have any questions. Give me a moment. Just going to scroll through the chat. Sorry. The interior of the church will get a makeover. Yeah, that was an old thing. I don't see the House of I just hope politics stay out of the game. Too many games nowadays have a narrative. I'm gonna get back to that if we don't have any other questions. Oh, the Triforce of toilet paper, yes. And I'm like old person splaining, Triforce to you guys. Like, that, young people, is a Triforce. Never played the game myself. Just totally, oh my god. Old. Okay, boomer. Yeah, okay, sorry. No, you shouldn't do that, Window. Stop doing that. Alright, how's performance so far? Map is gorgeous. Okay, Substance Painter. Yeah. Texture map, yeah, cool, since I was in college. Yes, yeah, it's come a long way just in the time that I've been working with this. They used to call them parallax textures. Now they call them PBR, and now they graduated to something else. Somebody asked about performance. It varies. On my system, I have gotten... Oh, look at that. Oh, that's hanging from a pole, yes. That's sort of a kiddie toy. Let's see, can we smack that guy? F, yes, there it goes. But... let's see. Yeah, we're coming... yeah, there's Battery Hamlin right there. And by the way, that's not named after a fictional character. I love telling this story. At one time, Abraham Lincoln, who we know as a great emancipator, had to... he had this guy by the name of Hannibal Hamlin from the state of Maine, who was his vice president. But during the election, they had to dump him because Abraham Lincoln thought he was too anti-slavery. It's just another cool thing that, I don't know whether it's cool. It's just an interesting detail where Abraham Lincoln was like, I hate slavery, but that Hannibal guy just doesn't shut the heck up about it. Doesn't he? He needs to get a hobby. No, seriously, that's an awful thing to say, because really, if slavery is extant in the country, Hannibal Hamlin did the right thing. He fought against it with every fiber of his being. But still, it's ironic that, at a certain point, the Republican Party, who is like the party of the great emancipator, said, that Hannibal guy just goes a little bit too far for us, but hey... it seems they lost all their sense of self-restraint. But hey, we won't go into politics, right? Hold on for a moment, guys. I have to go and, unfortunately, take care of a little bit of biological stuff. And after that, I'm going to see if there are any questions. And if not, I'm going to address this whole thing about politics in games. And, I would love... let me see. Who is the person who brought that up? I'm just going to go over here again. The House of Bear. I'm going to just say my piece, and if you want to respond to it, I'd love to have a back and forth about it, because this is something that, I'm concerned about, and we want to be sensitive, because we do want this as a game that people, there is, let me take care of my 50-year-old, waste disposal system, internal waste disposal system, and we could talk about this. This is something I wanted to discuss, so, bye. I'll be right back with you. Bye. Actually, let me turn the camera around so you guys have a better view. Oh, yeah, you'll have a nice sunset view. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. Susie, you need something from me? Alrighty. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. Oh, the sun has faded a bit, but it's not. Let me just go. And you can hear the geese in the background. They're probably screaming, "We can't get past the water. Help us." Oh, the moon's coming up over there. That is one thing. Before I get over and answer that question, let me tell you, I just so miss... I can't get with the anti-quarantine people, but... Oh, there they are. The geese. Oh, damn. I really miss going out to the islands, out here in Portland. It was one of the things I really enjoyed doing was just being able to go out and watch the sunset, out on the island. And unfortunately, that is no longer an option. I'm going to tab over to another cat. Maybe we can get away from him. So, as that's doing that, I'm going to go over and I'm going to see if there are any other questions, and then I'm going to see... let's see. Read texture. Arjuna. Those need to be fixed up. The textures on battle. What the hell is he going to do? The cat or me? I don't know. Hell, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do half the time. Will the game have multiplayer? Okay. I know this is going to disappoint some people, but I've oft stated it, and I stand by it. Here's the thing. I understand that a heck of a lot of people like multiplayer games, and I love talking about this more than talking about politics. But here's the thing. Unfortunately, the game studios, I think, have been pushing multiplayer games to a great extent in recent years because the additional multiplayer allows them to ditch what I consider some of the most important people in game development, and those are writers and creatives. Because why bother writing a story if you're just going to have a multiplayer thing where you could... Game developers depend on multiplayer to let other people fill in the gaps that they used to. I grew up, and yes, I am old. I mean, straight up, I'm 50 years old, guys. I worked for Atari back in the days of the Atari Lynx, etc., and I can give you more examples of how old I am. But here's the thing: my greatest gaming experiences was when I was a kid were Ultima, the original Ultima, Richard Garriott, thing, and I lost interest in the Ultima series as soon as Ultima Online came out, because honest to God, Ultima was telling me a story, and yeah. He was telling that story to thousands of other people, but the way I played the game and the way he structured it, it was my story, and I liked my story. I don't want other people to get into my story. And that was the same thing with Fallout New Vegas. No, Fallout 76, right? That atrocity that they came out with. Here's the thing. Fallout fans, if you played the original 2 Fallouts, and I would highly recommend it because they still rank among the best adventure games ever made. They're isometric and they're from the 90s, but hey, there you go. They had fantastic stories, and the choices that you made opened up so many divergent storylines. I mean, and in a conversation, you could just, get a little piece of information, but they might make an offhand comment, and that would open up a whole new storyline to you, etc., etc. If I could imagine playing a game like that, and I'd be like, oh, wow, I talked to this stranger, and he gave me this little piece of information. I want to see where that piece of information leads my story. I don't want somebody coming in and going, hey, Eric, what TV did you watch today? Lol. Why don't we do this? I found this quest earlier. No, can I just say, one of the most intensive parts of creating Peace Island, and let me tell you, visually and coding is huge, but we are putting a heck of a lot of time and effort into writing this and making it into a cohesive world. That's why we recently started up a wiki so that we could just have everything, self-reference and such. The way that I've told everybody who asks about multiplayer is that no, we're trying to tell you a story. Your friends would just get in the way of your story, and we don't. Again, I'm trying to make the kind of game that I would like to play, maybe I'm a little bit old-fashioned in that, and I just believe that unfortunately consumers have been, short shrifted for a great extent. Oh, we didn't hit the ball. We could hit the ball. By the way, those balls are just examples. They aren't going to be there in the full game. And I mean, when studios do release a narrative-driven, story-driven game, it's going to be something like Mass Effect or Dragon Age, which is again the same story told over and 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 over again. It's just shocking to see that those companies think they can just tell the exact same story over and over again. And well, the thing, maybe they're telling people, stop playing these RPGs. We're going to give you awful RPGs for years, and maybe you'll eventually get the idea. Just play multiplayer because that's all they're going to give you. Crappy RPGs and multiplayer. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. I've just never been a fan of multiplayer. I did play Dark Age of Camelot for, I'd say, straight up about a year. And I regret all that time. But heavens to Betsy, I think it was better than World of Warcraft. But that was just me. But I'm not going to trash anybody else's games here, other than Dragon Age Origins and Mass Effect, which are the same story over and over and over again. The whole thing, if you've seen one, you've seen them all. It literally is true. It's crazy. Our standards as gamers and consumers have not gone down. It's just, unfortunately, we're stuck. Oh, it looks like it's raining. That is one thing I was going to leave out. And actually, here's one thing. In the game, eventually you're going to have control of 9 cats. When it starts raining, if you, say, for example, left about 3 or 4 of those cats out in the open, they are not going to stay there if it starts raining. They're going to, look after their own self-interest and go to the nearest shady spot so they can, get out of the rain. Looks like we have texture issues still here on there. And here's one of the chicken flocks. Let's see here. Morning is still. That's right. So anyway, I probably cheesed off all the multiplayer fans out there, but what you gonna do? I mean, they say, would you include a multiplayer option? I don't think how that would even be possible. I mean, I guess people could mod it and use it as like a, capture the flag thing, but there are so many other games that you could play capture the flag immediately with. Why bother modding this? Well, I guess somebody out there could. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. But again, I'm not a big multiplayer fan. In fact, even when I played Dark Age of Camelot, I loved rolling alone because I played like this character, not a necromancer, the druid guy that could summon somebody to fight on his behalf. Man, I could take on people, monsters about 5 levels above me, ones that were marked with like blue and red, don't attack. I could take them on with my little like elf. Spontaneously generated elf. But honest to God, I would go out there with this party of people that were like half of them were, well, most of them were over my level, and they would get us killed instantly, and I would lose. Like, in Dark Age of Camelot, it was little bubbles. And I'd lose half a level in the course of an evening every time I tried to multiplay. The one neat thing I liked about it was able to go. I loved going to the places where the noobs spawned, or the newbies. I don't want to be derogatory, because I was at a certain point so absolutely powerful. I could just go in there and turn these people into gods for about 5 minutes at a time, and they were popular. They'd offer me money, and I was like, money. Oh, please don't sully my offering. Oh, goodness. Let's see where we are. Or if we got any other questions. Sorry, can I bring this up? Let's see. Oh, Shadow Alea. The question is, where did they get that many toilets? Oh, no. Any word on console plans? I should go back. Oh, that's well, the game. Okay, Jeff Montalvo. I think I answered that question. Okay, else being part of a story I'm in, but I still think it would be awesome to run on cabs with the boys. You know, maybe, and maybe that would be a mod. Somebody would do, capture the mice or something like that. Who knows? Or I just, I'm not a fan. I'm old. And by the way, I need to check the time really quick. I've been going now for how long? 1 hour and 2. Now that we have a social media manager that doesn't feel obligated to sit up for the entire time, I'm afraid I'm going, hey, Laura, I'm afraid I'm going to sit here for 1 more hour, unless, people spontaneously disappear. Let me see. Concrete fencing should be new. Check out the new Purple House. And let me say, I got a question. Any order console plans? Yeah. It just happens that Dawn is breaking here. The Purple House. The electric blue and dark purple. And, I've taken... when the plague is over, Arjuna, or if you, do it with proper, PPE... I recommend going out to Peaks Island. Somebody did their house in, the color of dried blood and electric cobalt blue. It's unsightly. It gives you a headache just looking at it. Houses like this are, again, I'd say, not out of the ordinary out on the islands. Here's the thing is, understand that most of the houses that are out there some of the houses that are out there that are occupied year-round, now as family houses, started off as, bungalows. And, if people just like whimsical colors. Oh, I'm going to this little island off the coast of Maine. I'm going to be all alone. And where I can dodge prohibition for a few days. And they're going to stay, in a colorful little house. That's what I made these sunset cabins sort of like there. Yeah, except I made them very generic colored. But, I just want to go, I do want to say this about politics. And I'm just going to get to a place where we can look at things nicely. This is another case where I'm perhaps old. I am noticing things being politicized now that I would have thought were beyond politics just a couple of years ago. And I just don't understand much of the things that people consider political. I don't consider much of the things people do online when it gets into politics. Some people gives a bad review to a Jordan Peterson video, and the next thing you know, the guy or gal is getting death threats. I can't claim that I understand that. Global warming somehow is political now, and I just remember, can I say, there was this big hue and cry from the gaming community after the release of, I forget, one of the most recent God of War ones, the one with the dog with the character Porthos. I think it was the previous God of War. There were some people who were actually upset that this game had expanded their emotional palette, and at the end of the game, rather than feeling raging triumph, they actually felt a touch of sadness and empathy or something. I've never played it, but I know people who have, and they say it was one of the most touching endings they've ever seen in a game. And I think somebody writes a great ending to a game that makes people think different and expands the emotional palette of gaming. That's fantastic, but there's some gamers out there that were like, "Oh my God, this game made me effeminate. Oh my goodness, and this is the sort of thing that's ruining gaming right now. Oh my goodness, it's cancel culture, blah blah." I don't get it. Somebody was trying to tell a great story, and they were offended because they were told a great story, and they consider it political. I don't get that at all. So here's the thing right now. We're writing a story with the I guarantee you somebody out there is going to find political things to nitpick around in this game, because there are some people in this world who either have that narcissistic gene in the back of their head or are raised by narcissistic parents and are not happy unless they're angry about something, and they have to go out and like complain like children, I guess. So I mean, yes. Here's the thing. Maybe we will put stuff in here that will offend people both on the left and the right. We hope not, because we don't want to make an offensive game. Oh, this is a place where you have a problem with the roads not adhering. Hold on. Oh, that's a local motorcycle. I was wondering what that. We have a little problem with the road texture there, you see? It's still floating above the road. You can see almost a wisp over there. But again, when it gets back to politics, I cannot guarantee that in a world where unfortunately everything has been politicized, that we are going to create a game 100% free of politics. That's unfortunate. Prior, I'm not going to get too off on a long tangent, but I mean, prior to this, many moons ago, I worked a little bit in politics, and I mean, it's absolutely shocking to me today. Not even when talking about like politics as a meta in the country or anything, but I mean, it isn't enough that hey, we disagree on something. Oh no, if you have this thing, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And I mean, really, if there's any political statement it's going to be something that really has been a subtext of every cat meme, that humans are stupid. And honest to goodness, we are. One of the, if you consider what I'm about to say political, that's up to you. But Kurt Vonnegut had a great phrase where he said, the more you look at human history and the way we're treating this planet, it's obvious that we as humans just don't like it here. And I love it here, but just getting off. I love it here, but apparently there's some people who just don't like it here, and it sucks. And I mean, that will feature in the game. But the people who arrive at these opinions in the game are going to be coming at them from different perspectives. I think actually I showed, maybe I could show you guys that again, but actually I'd rather not, because the map shows spoilers. I could maybe show you on my desktop, but one of the stairs is missing here. But let's see if we can just jump on top. Yeah, there we go. Zip. We created a spectrum of politics between the humans on the island based on stuff completely separated from the left-right spectrum. All the conflicts that you're going to encounter on the island, I think, are going to be completely non-political. But there are going to be internal island politics going on, because there's a mayor. And actually, I posted on Twitter, one of the cats that you'll meet and that you will have control over in the game served as mayor of the island for a few years, I think one term. He was due for a second term, but there was dirty politics involved. But again, more spoilers, can't go into that. I hope we don't have to rely on too much reading in this game. I mean, I sometimes compare it to a little bit to Myst. But honest to goodness, Myst sometimes just abuses their players with reading. Fantastic games, groundbreaking, but a little bit too much reading, guys. But another thing about Myst is that when the guys quit making Myst games, they were like, we were always hoping that somebody would come up and we were trying to lead a band, but nobody fell in line behind us. So he gave up, and I don't know. I'm not saying I'm going to make this game up. A little bit of a road texture, terrain issue. I'm not trying to make another Myst, but I can't help but say that I was inspired by Myst in making this game. I mean, even if you, I mean, right now you look at the original Myst game and it looks like something awful. But let me tell you, when I first saw that game, I think in 1989, that stuff was beautiful. That was the best graphics I had ever seen. And I don't know, we're going to try and stay away from that, but really that kiosk there is sort of an homage to that sort of, primitive 3D stuff they had in the original Myst. And I mean, consistently, can I say, in the Myst games, they, in their last Myst game, no, I'm thinking of Zork games. I don't think they ever sacrificed visual or audio quality in those games. They may have kept stuck with old technology like QuickTime VR and stuff, but I think to their very actually no, one of the guys who worked on Myst, I believe, lives in Maine and recently released a new game. I'm not aware of it because I have not played it, but I don't know. Aside from story, visual quality is something that a lot of games were just willing to compromise on, and I don't know. You see it's getting a little bit jerky here again because this is still an alpha, and this is, again, one of the most busy areas you'll come across in the game. And also, again, we're doing the second round of batching soon, which will, again, improve performance. And there's so many other things that we're going to be doing to improve performance. This last time we did a few things that I had never even considered, and they just really increased frame rates just amazingly. For the first time, we were getting like 55 and 60 frames per second. I mean, that's AAA quality, I'd say. There are some people who demand, I mean, yes, the more frames per second, the better the accuracy, but I don't know. The human eye, really has only a frames per second of about 45 on average. If you've consumed caffeine, it goes up to about 65. If you take some illicit drugs such as cocaine, you may go up to 120 frames per second. And by the way, that is not the voice of experience talking. That's something I believe I saw on an article about frames per second and such. So really, visual quality, if you can get above 45 frames per second, you're doing pretty much what the average human being sees at. If you go above that, you're really just trying to ensure the most accuracy of response in game mechanics. And trust me, we're going to be making it better with every passing month. And by the way, I wanted to say this far into an hour plus. Oh goodness, we still have a little bit of floatiness still there. We'll address that. We are right now looking at releasing the beta by the end of the year. We were hoping on releasing it in autumn, but unfortunately, due to a number of factors, we had to scale a few things back. But we hope to get back to full production this month. And I don't want to get into a situation again where I have to come to you guys, I have to promise something, in September or October, and then come to you guys and say, oh, we need another couple of months. I would rather just shoot for the end of the year for the release of the final beta. Or the pre-release of the beta that is for, our generous supporters on Patreon. And, Patreon, that's our only source of income now. Thank goodness nobody. People used to say, hey, can I give you money via PayPal? And, oh goodness, that adds so much paperwork to our process. Let me see if there's any interesting local history around here. Now, eventually, this is how you get down to the jail. The door was never added there. We got to get that added. And again, that's going to be something. That hedge there will be blotted out by that camera effect that I mentioned earlier, the sphere. Now that was that was a really swift loader right there. That little flash there. That was essentially the cat going from, going from one sector to another. And all these buildings again you're going to be able to go into, and they all have Well, yeah, it would be optimal to have it so that you do not have to enter every building over the course of a single playthrough. More floaty, you see there? That's just little adjustments to the terrain that have to be made in the future. It looks like we still have a problem with the Veg Studio. Not that this does not happen out on the island roads, but it does not happen in the middle of the main road. So really, I like it. Like for example, Vampire the Masquerade. There were some buildings that you could not enter the first playthrough, and the second playthrough, there were certain buildings like if you played as the Malkavian, it gave completely different gameplay than any other species of vampire in there. So yeah, I mean, I would like. Can I just say? An adventure game with replayability and creating this is one of our goals. So yeah, I'm thinking, if you play it through one way and you make certain choices, you're going to be sealing off other choices as you go on. And you'll be like, what did I miss the last time? Maybe if I do things a little bit different this time, which again is what adventure games. That's the big thing that adventure games bring to the table is that all those branching storylines and options that you can perhaps explore. I'm going to alt-tab over really quick and just see if I have any questions. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Chuck Carter, yeah. Human's stupid, what a cat thing to say. Yeah. By the way, Pete, sorry about this. I'll answer if you said anything. My net went down. House of the Bear, essentially, good to go over it really quick. I cannot guarantee that I am going to, because we now seem to live in a world where everything is politicized, and I'll come right out and say it. When a certain politician comes out and says that, hey, if there's somehow we can introduce bleach or sunlight to the interior of the body, we should all be able to laugh and point at that individual like the absolute moron that they are. But unfortunately, we have about 30% of the country now that will defend something no matter what. Now, in such a world where scientific facts such as, for example, climate change, for example, the impact of humanity on the planet, I got to move because these guys are going to come after me. Sorry. See, real world situations, real in-game situations, where scientific fact is now politicized. I can't guarantee you that somebody's going to not play this game again and find something to be offended about and complain about politically. Because, again, everything is politicized now. And if it comes to the point where we're like, we can't bring up this point because, there's this small segment of the population that believes the earth is flat, to that segment of the population, the fact that the earth is actually round, the fact that I just said that, that's political. So how can I guarantee that everything in this game is going to be free for politics? You see where I'm coming from? There's nothing that I could do. So I'm just going to say, there's no guarantee that it's 100% politics free. Because we live in a world where, again, if you point out, put bleach in your veins, all of a sudden you said something political. I don't get that. But hey, that's the world that we live in, and we see a little bit of this. But anyway, I want to reiterate that because it gives me pleasure to point out how stupid humans have become. So, let's go back down and see if we have any more questions. Okay, no. Zed, yeah, 96. And by the way, guys, I love that we have the views, but really I should call it quits in about 14 minutes because we are still moving into our house. Oops! Oh, it started raining, and I just heard one of those. We started looking for those dang elusive flying fungi a while ago, and again, you can go into every structure, including camping tents. Hey, Laura, 14 more minutes. Yeah, we're good. Hey, you want to bring in a kitty? Hey, you want to find a Ronin? He can come on the camera. We can show everybody our cute kitty. But anyway, I think I emphasize you got a picture of how big this game world is, and really this is most of what I've been showing off. And I really wish I could tell you more about this story, but that's something that we're going to be demonstrating in later ones. Laura's bringing one of our kitties around. Well, just yeah, there he is. I'll just move it over here. There we go, right over there. I get my pet. Yeah, there he is. He's not had enough camera time. See, humans, we're stupid. Yeah, what can we do? Sorry, Ronan. He just doesn't like being picked up much. He's adorable, but he just doesn't like being picked up much. Well, but let me see. I'm just gonna go and show a couple of other things here. Let's see. I'm just gonna X out of this. Let's see. I think up here is where I have this. Desktop. I have those. It's cats. Is it? Or is it politics? I forget, man. So many things. I could have sworn I had it here, but I'll just check on my E drive. I think that's another place where I stick those things. I'm so disorganized. But effectively, yeah, I could just go to my Kickstarter. I could show you. If you've never been over there, let's just see Kickstarter. What am I talking about? Actually, no, it is. Go to my Pizza demo. Just give me a second, because I really first updates. Let's just go over here. Circuitous. Yeah. Okay. Publish. There we go. Thank you for your patience. Yeah. I mean, politics will have to play a part, but I mean, really, this is what politics is like in the game. You see here, what we have here is we've basically figured out where all of the island's residents, exist on a political spectrum. And that will determine, their relations with each other. Were they still here? And it will drive many of the stories that you will discover over the course of playing the game. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I just really can't say, it's non-political in a world like this. It's just crazy we've gotten to this point. But, can I say there's a certain part of me. Let me see if I can just minimize this. No, I didn't. There. Minimize my window here. I just want to see if I have something I could show you here on my big screen. Bring up that. Actually, I'm going to minimize this and bring this all the way over here and maximize my window so I can drag that over there and not have to see my ugly face on my broadcast anymore. I hope. Yes. Okay, so goodness. I recently hired. Oh, no, they're downloads. That's where they are. You're seeing so much garbage. I'm so disorganized, guys. I apologize for this, but we recently got this. Yeah, this was a character from the game that just started off as like an idea. This is like the formal presidential portrait of Aloysius Ellison. I really enjoyed that. And by the way, I'm not going to point out, but a lot of people. Oh goodness, look at this! I put my right underneath my face. Goodness, I'm such an idiot. Now I'm going to leave that there because a lot of people keep on mentioning, by some house, you're going to notice, the artificial leg sticking out of a mailbox. This is the closest I'm going to get to a spoiler. I'm pretty sure by now you've had a chance to look at it in full screen, and I'm pretty sure you may have a hint, a little bit of a hint to the provenance of that foot. But anyway, let's see if we have anything else here. Yeah, old, let's see. We had these like all these like tourist posters that we had done for the island during the course of its development. We want a few more done because we want one of these done for each of the cats. The cats usually feature in the background, now these are things called leveling cards. I don't know exactly what they want, but part of the leveling system is that everything, as you go through the game, you're going to learn things, and each card, no, I'm sorry, each thing that you learn is going to have a card that goes with it. And some of the first things that you learn are going to be the things that you learn about the other cats. And these are just traditional 2D artwork that is going to go on the cards for each of the cats. Because, I don't know, we wanted different artwork for each of the cats. And let me see, I'm just going to show you one of our resources that we're using for the creation of this. Let me just go. There's this fantastic, and I'm going to have to move this over again because I don't want my head covering it up. You see? I don't know whether to create this leveling system, we needed a complete taxonomy of human knowledge. And a taxonomy would be, well, I'm not going to claim to be, Latin, but essentially it's like a dictionary of all human intelligence. Now, believe it or not, the most complete one was done by something called the Ha Ha Academy. And I believe it is actually a comedy website or something like that. But seriously, this is the most complete taxonomy of human knowledge, and that exists on the internet today. And that was after a lot of searching, unless one of you guys knows a better one. By the way, if you look over here into all these things, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, am I finding anything that was crazy that Eric put on his desktop? Yeah, you're finding like, let me move my camera over here. You're finding out like the names of my parking permits that expired last week. But just give it. But see, for example, at the very extremities out here, where let's just start off with everything, and then you have needs and resources going down to, industry. And then you have all these various ends, and let's just click on that. Brings us up to industrial services, which has its own hierarchy. That may not be a good example. Let me try one. Yeah, see? And then from there on, it has even more subsections. And like here, all the different kinds of rail transport there are. This is just one of those tiny red things at the very end. And it's not going to be complete as this. You'd think of it as a combination between a leveling tree and a leveling system and a technology tree. But it's more of a knowledge tree. Again, everything is still works in progress. So I don't want to go too much off into one end and be like that infamous video of Will Wright, the first video. Oh my gosh, let's live as we're winding down, let's live a moment of gaming disappointment together, you guys. I just want to say, remember, and if you're a longtime gamer like me, or just, you remember Spore, and you may remember that first, somebody had a camcorder there, and they showed the first draft of Spore that Will Wright had done. And it had the generative behavior of bite plus move equals drag prey. And he talked about before this we're going to have this Tetris thing where you actually lay out the original DNA of the creature that you're trying to build. And oh my gosh, I spent, honest to God, 2 years thinking I'm not going to live to see this game, because back then I smoked a lot and I was afraid I had lung cancer. Long story short, I don't, and I'm fine, and hopefully I don't. And if you smoke now, please quit, guys. But let's not get off this. Let's not get political, guys. After seeing that and seeing all the videos coming out, we knew some stuff was going to be clipped out. We knew we were going to lose some stuff. But honest to God, I remember I hacked into my computer and changed, I didn't use a VPN. This was before the wide variety. I hacked and changed the time zone so that I was in England so I could play the game 6 hours earlier. And I remember opening up Spore for the first time and just that crushing disappointment that just never ended. Honest to God. everything that we had been promised was not there. It was just this kiddie game that was, oh my god, I don't even want to talk about how bad that game was. I mean, since then, Will Wright has not been seen in public. Enough said. He's just basically in his house collecting residuals off of The Sims. But we're not going to do that to you. We are not going to be like Will Wright in that video. Everything you see in these videos, we are going to deliver. And when I mention something, I don't think anything that we've mentioned here, including having all buildings, within the game enterable, and having the AI behaviors improved. I don't think I've ever promised anything that we cannot deliver outside of the budget. It may take a little bit of time, and heaven knows it would be great to have a little bit of more skill on our side. But you do the best with what you got. But anyway, I just want to get that out of the way. We're not going to pull a Will Wright on you. We're not showing you stuff you're not going to get. Anyway, I'm going to see if we have any more questions before we call it quits for the night. I'll open that up, Arjuna. Let me just catch up really quick, Arjuna, and then we'll show that textured house. Hold on. Chuck Carter, Garage Textures, agreed it's terrifying, blah, blah, blah. Exactly, stop the rock. I want to get off, LOL. Yeah. Okay, you want to say, and will there be catnip? I'll open that up. Yes, there of course will. There would not be, we were actually thinking of that. Remember earlier in the video I showed you that one farm that had like no cats allowed. We were thinking of having that full of catnip, so it'd be like this ultra great place for your cats to be, but you would be denied until like the latter half of the game. But we're gonna have catnip all over the game, because really it's one of those things that would be better if it were that way. So let's see, we were just going to start this up, and I was going to show you the house that Arjuna mentioned before we called it a night. Just give me 1 second. Let's see, PC Alpha. And we're going to use that same quality. I'm going to spend the rest of my evening organizing bookshelves. That and I don't know. Ah, there we go. Got to make sure that my window looks right. All right, great. Oh, no. There we are. Move ugly face, not game. And also, eventually we're going to have to get to the point. All right, now. Move that down. Sorry for that being so loud, but new game. And I'm just going to double check to make sure we're let's see. Island of McLean. Oh, yeah, Island of McLean. That's the one. Actually, we were right by there a couple of minutes ago, Arjuna. I was, during one of my complaints about politics and such, when I was talking about, the God of War game that some people thought was politicized because it caused them to have emotions that a game had never had. All of a sudden, they were like having serious. Anyway, when I'm ranting on about that, to the right of this screen, you can see that house. But just give me a moment; we'll get there in a moment. Just while that's loading, I'm also going to just check and see if we have any last questions. Oh, catnip, yeah. And actually, the flying mushrooms are not, and in fact, we didn't find any, despite our best intentions. I love how the pupils again are a little bit strabismus. They're a little bit off, but I like how the cat's eyes fall. That's really cool. Let me see if we can get downtown. I think Tyler's downtown. And just verify. Yep. Everything looks grand. Okay, now. Oh, nope. And Susie is. Oh, goodness. Okay, we're just going to have to walk for a couple minutes, guys. while we're going along, I'll just go, let me see, what else? Oh, and I just never addressed the thing about all the toilets. Okay, we have still a little bit of floaty. Now, this is something within the game you will hear about. In fact, if you sit and listen to the radio broadcast long enough, you will hear a little bit about it. And it's essentially a little bit of an homage to this guy in Maine, who wanted to sell his house so that they could build a Dunkin' Donuts. I heard them. Dang it, they're everywhere. I hear them, but I never see them. Basically, the city council would not let him do it, so he got as many used old toilets as possible and started just covering his property with toilets. And apparently, that has now happened in several locations. And I've been told that's happened in other places. Remember what I was talking about? Anyway, we'll go back to that. I considered it, while it may happen in other places all around the world, I never heard about it until I moved to Maine, and I consider it just to be one of the wonderful things about Maine. That people use toilets as an aggressive, form of social protest. Maybe if somehow no, that would be debating it. I'm sorry, we have to walk all the way downtown. By the way, this is where we started off. Remember, there's the Little Flom Fish Works. And basically, there's a purpose to those toilets being there. And again, if you listen to the radio broadcast, you'll get a hint as to what's going on with that. And I just don't feel like giving away that, because that's sort of a little bit of a. By the way, that garbage dump is up there, but we will go. I don't think you guys want to see the garbage dump. It's just garbage. Alright. And there's a house we were at earlier that I thought Arjuna was talking about. And there we have the garden shop off to the right. Coming up on the left, we have Maison de la Paix. And we have the Historical Society over to the right. And here we are. Actually, I realize now, Arjuna, I apologize. You could not see that house in the previous shot when I was complaining about that political garbage. But there we are. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. I forget whether we have good colliders up on the stairs, but we hope we do. Yep. Yeah. Oh, but we don't have colliders in the house. Oh, no. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. This is, by the way, the latest texture from Arjuna. We got a lot more of the worn wood texture there, which, by the way, on the main island is absolutely essential because, salt, air, and stormy. And let me see. Just if you don't know downtown, let me just give you a quick tour of downtown before we. See, by the way, the cat motion is not perfect, but compared to where it was 2 months ago, 3 months ago, oh my God, the improvement. Oh my goodness. And it's going to get better every month from here on out. It's going to be a joy to put together videos. But anyway, this is City Hall. Right next to it is... that is where the radio station is broadcast from. And there's the post office up there. Over here is the Umbrella Cover Museum, and I've not spoken about this in a bit, and really I know I'm going longer than I said, but if you're not aware, out on Peaks Island, there is a museum that is completely dedicated to umbrella covers, and it is, I would say, one of the most delightful experiences that you can have out there. But here's the problem. The woman who runs it is quite elderly, and I do not believe because of COVID she is opening it this year. I am hoping, I personally am of the opinion, not to get political, that where this stuff is going to be with us, unfortunately, for a couple more years. But I think she's of very good health and very lively. I think in a couple of years she's going to be running the Umbrella Cover Museum again. And by the way, Sharing the building right down there is the Jewel Art Gallery. This is Garrison Island Market, where you'll meet one of the ex-mayors of Maine. I'm sorry, of Peace Island Landing, Maine. That is the Portly Puffin restaurant. And yeah, I think we've gone all the way down this before. And here we have the floaty bikes and the library over here. It's the sign's a little bit more visible when the sun is at the proper angle. And the police, of course. And up there is a church we tried to go into earlier. And the schoolhouse right over here. We have some more road glitches. And let me tell you, there's a heck of a lot I could go into. And hopefully the next time we live stream, we'll have the sneak and, targeted hunting action going again. We had to temporarily remove those. I'm going to say thank you very much for viewing. And let's see. Well, really quick, I'll say the last thing I will say. Easter eggs. Stephen King Easter eggs. Actually, we were really wanting to hire Stephen King to do some voice work for the radio station. I got in touch with his agent and messaged him on Twitter, but I got no response. But here's the one thing is that, from what I understand, he tweeted a couple of times. He, even though he has his own cats, and he's much more of a dog person, and has posted about the destruction that cats do to, Maine's native life, which is, one of the things that we will be. Well, here's the thing. If you don't know it, cats are one of the most destructive predators on Earth, and that's why you keep them inside. They lead a little bit less of an exciting life, but they don't destroy. And we were hoping on mentioning that. But anyway, before that, I wanted... James. Oh, well, thank you. Shadow Aliyah. That's the last thing I'm going to mention before I go. Is thank you. Fortunately, the Umbrella Cover Museum was run by, she is not passed away, and here's where we had more road issues, is run by a woman, I'd say in her 70s, but she is one of these snowbirds that comes down and lives on Peaks Island only for a few months and keeps the museum open for those months. I have a feeling she may not have even come up to Maine this year. But considering how much COVID is, gone crazy down in Florida, I think it might have been a good idea if she did. She did not run the museum for money. She never asked for a dime. She would literally entertain thousands of people every week and not ask for a dime. She would sell like little stickers and such, but not anything. This was something that she wanted to do in her retirement, and getting her permission to include it in the game took me about 5 trips out there. And this is pretty much what it looks like. It's not the most exciting storefront. And her whole slogan, as you might see there, let me see if I zoom in, celebrate the mundane. If you can't think of anything more mundane than a museum dedicated to the Umbrella Cover. But the thing is she's actually gotten a lot more interesting ones because, in Hong Kong, they had the umbrella protests where people would just, when they brought out, just started spraying people with pepper gas, they'd bring down the umbrellas. She has a few umbrellas from the actual protests there, and a few other historically. From Egypt too, because they did the same thing in Egypt. She has some, you wouldn't think things like umbrella covers would be historically significant, but again, that's why her museum is special. And I think in a couple of years when all of this is over, not to get political, I think she's going to be running that museum again. And I hope she's been able to avoid COVID. And again, I hope she came up to the island and is, keeping safe, because I'd really like her to be around when when the game comes out. It would be just really great. In fact, I would like to have her record like an audio tour of the museum, so when you go in, you get like her whole spiel. Because she is a delightful woman. You go every tour group she performs. "Let a Smile Be Your Umbrella" on the accordion for. She's probably performed that tens of thousands of times. But anyway, not to go on and on. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm getting sore throat. Laura, we really need to get back to cleaning this place up. And I just want to say, as the last thing, thanks again for everybody's, support and patience. And hopefully, just keep on following us on Patreon, and we'll have more stuff to show you every week. All right, take care. And I'm just going to go over to that window, open up my YouTube thing. I know it's bad. Everything shows up there. I'm old. Streaming is new to me. See you later, guys. Take care, and thanks again. Bye-bye.